Okay.
And we are live. Hello, everyone, on a Monday morning.
Hello, everyone. Oh, yes, by the way, there is a huge time difference between Amy and I. Amy, good morning. For everyone in Germany, it's now 10 past 3 p.m. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I promise I have a special guest today joining me in this initiative. So hello, tell me your success secrets. So today we are having Amy Todisco, someone that I really have all respect for. And let me tell you that I have worked with her before and she's amazing. Amy Todisco, just to tell you a little bit about her, she is Live or Build Your Best Life coach since over 14 years, and she is also a nationally recognized green living expert. Imagine that. I'm very excited to have this interview with you, Amy.
Thank you.
Especially that I know that you are leading a very special kind of retreats.
Yes.
Right. So I would like to move this over to you, please. Maybe you can share with us a little bit more about you, what you are doing,
Sure.
and why did you choose this path in life?
That's a good question. Well, I'll answer that part first, because for me, this path of helping people live their best life is something that I've been doing in my own personal life, really since I was 13, believe it or not. I had the amazing opportunity to take something called the EST training that was created by Werner Erhard, EST, EST training. So I thank you, Mom, for sending me to do that. And I think I was the only young person in the adult training. And the whole purpose of that personal development, personal growth, was the realization that we create our own lives, that we are responsible for the things that we attract and create in our life. And I just see Dave is coming up the road, so there's probably going to be dog barking. And so that started me on a path. And then I did a whole bunch of, many workshops and experiences, and learned all these different tools that I use in my own life that I then feel compelled to share with other people. And so that's what really has motivated this whole process. And so that's taken the form of coaching, doing the retreats, like you mentioned, one-on-one coaching, now starting group coaching experiences, doing all kinds of things with nature on our organic farm. I do these very unique farm tours in the summer season. So there's a lot of different pieces to it.
Wow, that all sounds really fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing about it. But there is, this little piece is about when your mom invited you to take this course.
Yes.
So I have a feeling that there is a little story behind it. So maybe if you would like to share your story with us, of course, within this initiative, we are very interested, in listening to successful people's stories, because this is the whole idea is we want to get inspired by you.
Right. Well, thank you. Yeah. So the story behind it is that my mother took the S training, and then she decided that both my sister and I needed to take it. And after I took it, I understood why, because there is kind of a language that we speak when we take an experience like that, that's all around personal growth and development. And she needed us to be sort of on the same page with her. And what I noticed after that was I got hooked. I couldn't not do more. So we ended up taking workshops together on things like relationships and career and money and, all these different things during my high school years. And it even inspired some of my best friends in high school to also take the S training. And I think it really has a lot to do with helping me figure out my path in life, because I was very much tuned into what my soul wanted me to do. I've always been paying attention to that little inner voice and following those messages. And so sometimes it might look like this, meandering path, but for me, I've always kind of followed my curiosity. If something popped into my head, like, oh, let me try photography, which was the first business I started actually out of college, because I took a photography course in my senior year. And I was very inspired by that experience. And I got to be the assistant to my photographer teacher. And then oh, this is amazing. And I still use photography today. But after about a year of trying to do this in Boston, I decided it was too much. I like the creativity part of it, not the marketing and all that stuff also. But again, the whole process of tuning into what each of us has for that inspiration, that inner voice that we can listen to guide us, is really where I focused a lot of attention. And that's something that I share with people, through the retreats, through the coaching, whatever it is that I'm working on.
That's actually fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. We have been interviewing guests within this initiative since, like I said, since the holy month of Ramadan. And it's really fascinating how they all shared that their transformation started when they started listening to their inner voice. When they were connected to their soul and they heard it calling.
Yes.
And some of them, let me tell you, they made a major shift in their lives. And they had like corporate jobs, very good corporate jobs, but still they were not very satisfied. Yes. So can we say that this may be one of your success secrets? And do you have other success secrets that you can share with us?
Yes, it is definitely the top success secret. And I think that we're all being called to listen to our soul more so these days, because I feel like we've kind of strayed off, following things that are not good for humanity. And we need to kind of get back on track. And I believe that when we're all living from that connection with our soul and making choices from that place, then we're making much healthier decisions. And so that's definitely my top success secret. The other one too was following the curiosity. When something pops into your mind, it's like, oh, I'm really interested in that. Let me go down that path for a while. To me, that then opens up doors, right? So different opportunities come that might not have if I hadn't taken those steps. And so I feel like every opportunity to explore helps me figure out the next step. Getting really clear on goals is super important. So that's why I love doing vision boards. And I think that I do these free monthly vision board experiences. And it's because I feel like when we get very clear about what it is we want, and we put that out, to the universe through this collage of pictures and words, excuse me, that actually helps us manifest better, use the law of attraction. So the clarity is a very important piece of success, I find. So those are some of the things that I've been doing.
That's really fantastic. Thank you so much. And I love the part where you spoke about the vision board, because, we listen to all these experts in the energy field, and all these trainers and coaches, and they tell you about, okay, you need to do a vision board. So how important it is, what difference does it make actually to have this vision board? So maybe I know the things that I want, like, for example, I want love, I want money in my life, I want health in my life, right? Yeah.
Right.
What difference does it make when I have a vision board, especially that you are the expert now in vision boards? And I have been meaning to catch one of the trainings. So I will make sure to catch the next one.
Yes, the next one's coming up on the 21st of this month. So I'll be sure to send you the reminder. So
yes,
why
please,
I think
please. And we need also maybe to post the link. I will be more than happy to post the link so that we can invite as many people, to join you.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yes, thank you.
We will absolutely post the link. So why I think vision boards are so important. One of the reasons is that when you have something concrete like a vision board in front of your, each day, and the most important time of day actually to look at your vision board is 45 minutes before you go to sleep. Because in some ways it's sort of programming your unconscious mind as well as your conscious mind. And so when you say, you want love, you want, career goals, all these different things, health, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to look at, okay, those are your goals. Let's look at why is that important to you? What will happen in your life if you achieve that? How will that make you feel? So you really get to kind of look at the goals from a different perspective, because I think the more emotion that's attached to that goal, good emotions, positive emotions, that it's much more likely to draw people and circumstances and experiences into your life to achieve them. So having that visual, excuse me, seeing it every day, it gives you, so here's an example. When I was living in Massachusetts before moving to Vermont, because it was my goal to Vermont, I had it on my vision board and my attention was tuned to that. So I'd be driving around Massachusetts and I'd see all these Vermont license plates and I'd think, have all these Vermonters always been driving around, or is this just new because I'm focused on Vermont? So it's one of those kinds of things with a vision board, something into your conscious mind. And then all of a sudden you notice, all of these different things that lead you to helping you achieve whatever that goal is. And I think one of the reasons why people don't achieve goals, and believe it or not, according to Inc. magazine, only 8% of us achieve goals, our New Year's goals, they said. But 92% of us are making goals that we're not achieving. And there's reasons for that, right? And so one of them, I think, is lack of clarity, not really knowing what it is you're asking for, because if you don't know and you don't put it out there, you won't know if you've achieved it.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much for this insight, because, one would think, okay, I know what I want in life.
Right.
I want to be happy. I want love. Okay. I want money, but how much money do you want?
Exactly.
When do you want
by
it?
when? Yes.
By when? Yes. What about love? What kind of love? Do you want love from children? You want love from your dog?
Exactly. You got it. So
Okay.
that specificity, that being specific about what that goal is and what it looks like, that way you'll know when you've achieved it. And I remember my friend Deb back in Massachusetts, she said to me after I moved to Vermont, she said, I can't believe that you have fulfilled almost everything on that vision board that you had hanging up in your living room.
Wow.
It does work. It really,
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm very glad to have you here today, as an expert, because I have questions about it. I know it's, a little bit on the improvising side, but please, if you can accommodate this question for me, because I feel that there are two schools now when it comes to vision boards, or envisioning your goals. Some of them would say you need to be very clear, very specific about your goals. You need to write down every single detail you can think of. And the clearer the vision, then the sooner it will manifest, right? However, the other school is claiming that, no, we should not do that. We should not give the universe directions. The universe or God, for example, whatever you want to call this being that is granting you the goals or helping you achieve the goals, we should not give them directions, because the universe or God, they know what's best for you.
Okay, so I have a workaround for that. I agree with both of those things to a certain extent. So what I do and what I encourage people to do is to put the phrase "this or something better" on your vision board, because
this is a trick.
And here's why, right? So our conscious mind is capable of coming up with this goal, but there might be something even better around the corner that we don't even know about yet. So I like to have that "this or something better" phrase, because I'm not going to assume that I know right now consciously everything that I want, because I'm going to be led to new experiences that will open my possibilities, and I can think, oh wow, I didn't know that I wanted that until I got to that next step and I saw that other thing more clearly. So I think you can have both. I think that I guess what I think of as that God, that universe, is more that soul connection in each of us, that our soul is part of that universal energy. So it's really about tapping into our own soul connection, which is then connected to everybody else and all living things, in my opinion. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, beautifully. And you know what? This is why we should always go and ask a professional. Yes, because a professional like you can always give you an in-depth answer, right? So I have always been curious about this, and I have been asking here and there about this. But when I asked you, and you are a professional in this, and then you gave me this satisfying answer, and I love it so much.
Well, thank you. And I would give one more caveat to say that anybody that asks an expert it has to resonate with them, right? I can ask an expert and I can think, yeah, that doesn't really sit right with me. So I think it's great to ask experts, and I'm constantly researching and talking to people that know something more than I do, and also checking in with myself to say, I'm not sure that really sits well with me. That doesn't resonate. So yes, check with experts. Yes, get coaches and mentors and all that when appropriate, and also trust your own inner guidance.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what, Amy, I think this has a lot to do with the intention of the coach.
Yes.
Because there so much of this stuff is learnable. So people can really go and take courses and have certificates and be certified in so many things, right?
Yes.
And they become certified coaches. But what about the intention? Is it their true intention to really teach you something, deliver value, or is it just to take your money
Make
and
money.
then
Yeah, no, that's
and
a
then
very
give you
good
half information?
That is such a good question, because I've seen both. And so one of my other success tips, try to say that 3 times fast, is over delivering.
Okay.
And so what I mean by that is whenever I do anything, I try to give 150%, not just meet the minimum, but, just surprise people with giving even more. And so I think that's an important piece that I look for in, experts that I would seek, their counsel or their coaching or what have you, is if they're, like you said, the intention, if their intention is really about sharing, helping people, obviously you need to make money too. So you don't want to give it all away for free, but there has to be that giving.
Yeah. Yes, of course, I do agree. So maybe this is why your retreats have been very, very successful, because you are also delivering this extra value even.
Yes.
So yes, since we are talking about retreats, maybe you can tell us who can use your services.
Great.
Right? Who is your typical client? How can you help them? What kind of service do you offer them? And maybe you can share with us a success story with one of your clients.
Sure. So who I typically work with is smart, talented women, often that are starting the next chapter of their life. And there are some, a few heart-centered men as well. And usually they're looking to create some big goals. And so typically I've worked with women who want to change careers, start their own business. Maybe they want to move to a new location, or they really want to improve their relationships. That's been a big focus of mine. And I actually have a new coaching mentoring program on relationships, and how to make yours the best it can be, with all of the important people in your life. So really improving communication skills and listening skills and figuring out what your love language is and all kinds of stuff. And the other piece too, I've been doing this green living for a very long time, about 30 years. And so I help people figure out how to green up their homes in the sense of getting rid of toxic chemical products, which are in everyday things like toothpaste and shampoo and, everything we use in our homes, how to eat really healthful, nutritious food, even how to grow it, connecting with nature. So all these different pieces, it's kind of like I'm multi-passionate, I guess. And I help my clients with whatever area is, of interest for them at that time. So the retreats that you mentioned, I have one coming up in August, and I'm doing it with a friend this time. My friend Margie and I are doing this retreat together, and I've only done them myself and hired people to do different pieces. But this retreat is really about transformation. And I have a video on the website that documents that first retreat that I did 8 years ago and the kinds of experiences and the value that these women got. And so just to give you a success story, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the retreat. The success story is this amazing woman, Stephanie, who revealed this publicly. So I'm not telling any tales out of school, but she's a female veteran, and she had a very traumatic experience, or many traumatic experiences in the military. And so when she arrived at the retreat, she was an alcoholic. And we didn't address alcohol in any specific way, but through the experience of the retreat, she decided to become sober. And she's still sober 8 years later, which is just amazing to me. And she credits this experience. And so I think the retreat is very unique, and partly because it's on this beautiful organic farm that I live on. And we spend time with the plants and putting our hands in the soil, and we can, go barefoot even, which I love to do, to put your feet on the soil and really connect with the earth. But planting, understanding the whole, what it takes to grow healthy food. So that's one element. there's this other very unique element of working with horses, and horses as life coaches. And so
horses as life coaches.
Yes.
Horses as life coaches.
Yes,
how unique is that?
It's incredible. There's this amazing friend of mine, Peggy, who's a horse trainer. I also call her a horse whisperer.
Horse whisperer.
Yeah, she is just so amazing at being able to read the horse's behavior, but also humans' behavior. And so the retreat participants get to come to this barn and have an experience where they go into a round pen, which has, gates all around it in a circle. And there's a horse in there with you and Peggy. And Peggy helps you send that horse around on the outside of your circle. And then at some point they give these signs that say, hey, I'm getting tired out here. I'd like to be in the middle with you guys, because horses like to be part of a herd. That's how they have safety. And if they're out there by themselves, they're more likely to be attacked by predators. Wow. So they give these certain cues where they drop their head to the ground and they start licking and chewing, their mouths. And that's when you know that they are asking to come and be a part of your inner circle. And so at that point, you turn your back towards them. You drop your body posture because they're reading your body language very intensely. You put the lead rope down that you've been spinning to get them to go around the circle. And then you just wait and see what happens. And that's when they get to choose if they want to come and be a part of your inner circle. And I have not yet seen one not choose that. So you'll start to feel the breath on the back of your neck, and then you turn around and you pet that horse and you reward them for coming to you. And it is such a magical experience. And once you've had that join up, which is what it's called, then you can walk around that pen and that horse follows you. And you don't have to have a lead line or a halter to bring them with you. They choose to be with you. So it's this amazing, very powerful experience.
Indeed, it's as if you are describing a spiritual even.
It is. It does feel that way.
So the human and the horse are connecting on the soul level.
Correct. And horses are very adept at being able to read blood pressure changes, breathing changes. One of the things that makes horses uncomfortable is if, let's say, we're really afraid inside, but we pretend to be brave. The horse will look at us like, something's not right, because they can sense that fear and they see the behavior and it doesn't match up. And so it's interesting that when people are in the ring with a horse and having a little bit different experience than that join up one that I just described. But if you walk into a pen with a horse and you have a lot of thoughts going on in your mind, and maybe you're preoccupied and not fully present, the horse senses that and looks at you. And most of the time the horse will walk away. And it's almost like it's saying, okay, I'll come back to you when you can, be present here with me. Okay. And so
wow. It's really, they are demanding full attention.
Well, that could be too. Yeah. And of course, each horse has its own personality, just like we do. And so you'll have different experiences with different horses.
Okay.
But you can learn so much about yourself.
Wow. That's amazing.
In fact, one of my therapist friends who came on a retreat said she learned more in that 2-hour experience with the horse than years of therapy. So it's very profound. So we'll be doing the gardening stuff. We'll be doing the horses. We're going to have a sound healing experience where this woman is going to come and do this amazing stuff. And we'll hopefully do it at night when the stars are out. All the food most of the food actually will be coming from our farm and prepared by a private chef. We're all going to be staying at this beautiful inn that's been rated #1 by TripAdvisor in Vermont, the Round Barn Farm. We are going to go for a hike, swim in the river, have a bonfire. Just all kinds of amazing opportunities to connect with each other, but connect with ourselves, get really clear on next steps in our life. It's going to be amazing.
Wow. It sounds amazing. And it sounds very, very tempting. I would like to check visa procedures to the USA. It sounds like a lifetime opportunity. So this is happening in August, and for how long?
So it's 4 nights and 5 days. Wow. So I believe it's August 21st to the 25th. And I have my little assistant here.
Yes, wonderful. So maybe you can please forward the link, and I will be more than happy to post it on my social media. I think this is very interesting. So do you think maybe that you can have online retreats? I
don't see why not. I've attended some. Yes, I think one of the things though, for me is I love to have that in-person experience because you can't do the horse thing online. Can't do the gardening thing
the
online.
sound healing. Yeah.
Right. There's
it should be a
sound
different
healing you
program.
can. Sound healing you could do online. I've actually attended some online and that was pretty good. But there's a bunch of different things that being in person is kind of required. But there are other ways and other, tools and things that can be offered online. So yes, there is a way for that for, for folks that can't come in person.
Yes, thank you so much. And with that, I would like to ask you about your other maybe upcoming events. You mentioned that you have a mentorship program to be launched soon.
Two.
Do you have do you have any other events or programs, courses maybe that you would like to share with us?
Sure. Yes. Thank you. So yes, the first one is the free vision board experience coming up on Saturday, May 21st at noon Eastern. We'll have the link for that. All of this is on the website actually, but we'll have the links below. And then the two mentoring coaching programs that I'm launching, one of them is on relationships that I had mentioned before. So anybody that really wants to improve their relationships with the important people in their life, whether it's a significant other, their children, employees, bosses, whatever. This will be focused on really tuning into how to create very important communication, how to ask for what you need in your relationship. So all things around relationship. And then also the relationship to ourselves, right? Because if we don't have a good relationship with ourselves and, understand who we are better, it's much harder to show up in the way that we want to show up because we have two types of self-awareness, right? One is what we think we know about ourselves, and the one where we have the blind spots or how we show up to others, which is why the horses are particularly helpful. So that's the relationship one. These are both going to be 8-week online courses, or not courses, but online coaching and mentoring programs. And we'll meet every week on Zoom live, and then all the details are on the website as well. And then the second one I'm calling is, what did I call it? A happier, healthier, greener you. And so that's all the green living stuff around how to detox your home and office, improve your nutrition, eating really healthful food, connecting with nature, learning how to grow food. And so I'm a little bit broad, I think, as far as the descriptions, because I haven't done these in an online setting before. I've done all of this, on one-on-one coaching and in person. So now this is a new venture. So I'm creating a really deep discount for anybody that's part of my founding member program, so that they'll actually help me make this the best program, or these two programs, the best that they can be. So I'll really rely on the first groups to help give me feedback so I can tune into what it is that people really need and want. So I'm very excited about those because those will be year round.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. And let me tell you, everybody who is listening to us right now, or who is catching the recording, by all means, go ahead and catch this opportunity with Amy. She has coached me personally. I booked with her before, and she's amazing. I mean, Amy, I am the kind of person who have worked with coaches before, but to be very honest, the session with you was different because, of course, you are a very friendly person. And during the session, I felt that you were doing really your best and you were giving me everything. You were not holding anything back. So I really appreciated that. Honestly, every tip, every advice that you gave me were very helpful, and it was really heartfelt. So every minute of that session that we had together really counted.
Well, thank you. Well, and I felt the same way. I, as you know, booked a session with you to do your NLP work, which was phenomenal. You helped me really release a very painful memory from my past that was still, being carried with me, even though I had done a lot of work on it. And it was really quite remarkable. So I feel the same about you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to learn about this, because transformation in NLP is very deep, and there are some similarities between your work and my work, because especially when you mentioned that when it comes to the vision board, you really need to dig deep down and feel how you really feel, what are your deepest emotions about these goals, because sometimes I really want love, but at the same time I'm afraid that this partner is not going to be good with me.
Right. Yes.
So-
And we can really want something, but that there's a block that comes up, right? So oftentimes we'll see this when people say, oh, I want to have a 6-figure income, right? But if the mind jumps in and says, oh, you don't deserve that, or you don't have enough skills to be able to make that happen, or whatever the mind chatter is, we have to work to clear that stuff out in order to make it so that there's a clear path to that goal. So that's one of the things too, is really releasing, and you do a lot with that, releasing those beliefs and those memories that are in the way.
Yes, exactly. I'm very happy that now we have this kind of art, of science, if you want, of this way of healing. This modality is now available to us. So I'm very grateful and thankful that we have this right now. I'm mindful of time. So one last question. Yeah. Unfortunately, I would love to spend hours with you. I really enjoy so much what you are talking about. I find it very exceptional, the experiences that you are sharing.
Thank you.
But since we are at time, so any final words, any piece of advice for our audience, and how can people reach you?
Sure. So the best way to reach me is my website, and that's catalystforchangecoach.com, and we'll put the link below. And final words, I would say, I think it's really important at this time in our human evolution that we do the best we can on ourselves, like really connecting to our souls and living from that place. And then we see that that has a ripple effect on the people around us. And I feel like that we need to move that, spread a lot more of that light and love that we need to sort of put humanity back in the right direction. So the more we can do it for ourselves and those around us, the faster we'll, be able to create a better life for everybody.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Amy. That brings us to the end of this wonderful time together, but we will meet again soon. Of course, we will stay in touch. I look very much forward to the next Vision Board event.
Thank you so much. I'd love to see you there.
Keep sharing the link, of course.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. This was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.